welcome to a very special show right here on India Today. I'm Sonal Mehrotra Kapoor, and today we are talking about an issue that carries heavy implications for millions of Indians. Now, for years, weight has carried cultural labels that sound almost harmless, right? You must have heard phrases like these. आप तो खाते पीते घर से लगते हैं, healthy side पे हो, थोड़ा मोटू, थोड़ा क्यूटू. Phrases that often reduce a person to just their size. And once weight becomes a label, it starts influencing your confidence, your relationships, and how society treats you. But beyond these social and emotional layers lies something far more serious. Excess weight is now associated with multiple chronic health conditions, from diabetes and heart diseases to blood pressure and joint problems. Yet, instead of viewing it as a health signal, many still see it as just a matter of looks, discipline, or worse, willpower. Now, that mismatch takes a toll, not just on your health, but on your self-esteem, opportunity, and even mental well-being. And somewhere between those jokes, stigma, and oversimplified advice, like eat less, move more, the real conversation, that gets lost. But that's exactly why today is important, why this conversation is important. Today we launch a nationwide awareness campaign. Cipla presents Win Over Weight in partnership with India Today Group. A campaign designed to simplify complex information, change mindsets, and help people understand that weight is not just about appearance, it's about being able to live life to its full potential. Ab wazan harega. So with that context setting, let's start our conversation, and please join me in welcoming our guests. Joining me today is, in this very, very important conversation, is from Cipla. We have Mr. Achin Gupta, MD and Global CEO Designate. Welcome. Under his leadership, Cipla has been driving several large-scale public health awareness initiatives. So thank you for being here today. Also with us is Dr. Rajesh Rajput. He's the Director for Endocrinology and Diabetes at Medanta Gurugram, with over 25 years of clinical experience in metabolic and hormonal and diabetes-related health. So thank you for your time. And with us also is Professor and Dr. Upen's recall. He's a Padma Shri awardee, of course, and we're very glad he could make time because otherwise he's very busy being the chairman of the Batra Heart Center and a globally recognized cardiologist with decades of experience in cardiovascular health, research, clinical care. So thank you, gentlemen, for being here and being part of this very important and exciting conversation. Let me begin with you, Achin. And firstly, congratulations. You've recently taken on a much bigger role, and I'm so happy to sort of see this, that you chose this as one of the key fights, one of the key campaigns that you will be taking forward. Help us understand how this became one of the key issues for you to take up first up.
Thank you very much. My pleasure to be here. And I would like to start by first saying that Cipla is completing 90 years of its existence this year. It's a momentous occasion for us. Over the years, we have done a lot of work on therapy shaping. And when I say therapy shaping, it means we start with awareness even before it comes to the topic of what medicine helps the patient. And we've seen that being a very, very effective driver of change in India. So as the number one supplier of medicines in the country, we shaped quite a few therapies, respiratory being one, where it's about awareness, where it's also then about stigma, which is a very important factor. And we've run campaigns like Berog Zindagi. We've run a campaign more recently on Toughies, which is for children. And as we realize, where the country is going, where lifestyles are going, how population is aging, we realize that the next big frontier is going to be around lifestyle conditions. And I think that's what brings us to obesity, which is quite prevalent. People may not recognize it the way it is, but it's almost maybe 10 crore patients who are, having this condition. So we took up this campaign to see how we can make a change here, how we can first and foremost create awareness. Because if I'm not aware, I won't take any action. And we specialize as a country, and I'm one of fellow countrymen in trivializing issues, right? Yeah. So like you said, खाते पीते घर से है kind of things. We saw the same patterns in respiratory. कोई बात नहीं, खांसी आ रही है. थोड़ा शुगर है, कोई बात नहीं, त्योहार के बाद कम कर देना मीठा. That kind of stuff happens. So we want to create awareness. We want to lead a change where people are seeking not just treatments for vanity reasons, but actually for health outcomes. And people are consulting a medical practitioner for solutions which can help them lead a much healthier life. Because clearly people are living longer, but we want people to live healthier as well. And that's where this whole initiative comes into being. So we're very proud to be associated with this, and we want to play our part in terms of creating that awareness and offering newer options for patients to take care of their conditions.
Okay, coming to you, Dr. Rajput. I think whenever we talk about weight, it's very important to understand कि overweight है कौन. I think in India, the biggest problem is people who are obese don't think they are, people who are not think they are, right? So it's a double-edged sword over there. If you could explain to our audiences first up, what exactly does clinically obese mean?
So thank you, Sonal. Well, first of all, we have to understand हमारी सोसाइटी में ओबेसिटी या मोटापा या ओवरवेट को अभी भी हम लोग डिजीज नहीं समझते हैं. ये बहुत बड़ा मिथ है.
That's true.
लोगों के अंदर जनरल सोसाइटी में कॉन्सेप्ट यही है. पीपल थिंक इफ ए चिल्ड्रन इज ओबीस ही इज हेल्दियर. द ट्रुथ इज अदरवाइज. सो देयरफॉर थ्रू दिस प्लेटफॉर्म we should give a message that if you are obese, first we have to identify. And recently, because sometimes telling somebody कि आप मोटे हो एक स्टिग्मेटाइजिंग कैप्शन लगता है.
किसी को बोलना कि वो मोटे हैं, कई बार लगता है कि वो आलसी हैं या उनके अंदर विल पावर नहीं है. या
तो इसलिए अब सोसाइटीज ने, हमारी मेडिकल सोसाइटीज ने एक टर्म यूज करी है, एडिपोसिटी बेस्ड डिजीज मैनेजमेंट.
ओके, एक्सप्लेन दैट.
एडिपोसिटी. Adiposity means accumulation of excess fat in your body.
Okay.
Right?
Huh.
So rather than saying somebody as obese, if somebody is suffering from various obesity related diseases like diabetes, hypertension, PCOD, obstructive sleep apnea, ये बहुत कॉमन है. पार्टनर से पूछिए, हम पूछते हैं कि रात को आप खर्राटे भरते हैं कि नहीं भरते. आपको थोड़ा ना पता चलेगा. उसकी
और बहुत कम लोगों को पता है कि ये सारा इज लिंक्ड टू ओबेसिटी.
तो उसके लिए एक नई टर्मिनोलॉजी है टू अवॉइड द स्टिग्मेटाइजेशन, एडिपोसिटी बेस्ड क्रॉनिक डिजीज मैनेजमेंट. इंची टेप से अपनी कमर नापिए, और यदि आपकी कमर आदमियों में 90 सेंटीमीटर से ज़्यादा और औरतों में 80 सेंटीमीटर से ज़्यादा, मोर देन 90 सेंटीमीटर इन मेन, more than 80 centimeter in women, it is suggestive of excess deposition of fat around visceral organs and visceral adiposity.
I think that's a very good definition for people to understand, and I think it's also very important for people to sort of see on what is obesity. Now that we've understood that, let's take it a step further and say, okay, now that you recognize that you are or aren't obese, how do you understand its connection with several other diseases? Which is where I'll bring in Dr. Kaul. Dr. Kaul, what happens? How exactly is obesity linked to several other cardiovascular diseases?
Yes, Sonal. You see, obesity itself is a disease. We need to understand that. Being a cardiologist, let me start with cardiovascular system. Well, hypertension, high blood pressure is one of the very common manifestations. And you know, high blood pressure is associated with strokes, kidney disease, visual problems, name anything. Then you come to acute conditions like a heart attack, unstable angina, where you get an acute catastrophe and you need to rush to the hospital. Then there are chronic stable things. You walk and you get angina. You think it's all right. It's because of overweight. That's a condition. Then heart failure. Many people think that heart failure happens only when heart is weak. No, in obese people you can get heart failure with a normal echocardiographic finding. Ejection fraction is 60%. That's called heart failure with preserved ejection fraction, which is a condition almost exclusively seen in obese people. And that is as bad as a heart failure of the common variety, very high mortality. Like an obese person who has been obese for many years, was managing, was going to office at a particular pace. Now at the same pace, he finds it's becoming difficult for him. He feels uneasy. He gets short of breath. He gets a querying sensation in the chest. He starts feeling dizzy. These might be the earliest signs that something is wrong, because with the same weight or even with the 2 kgs lower weight, I'm getting these symptoms. That could be the earliest sign of picking up that you're getting into a cardiac problem, and cardiac problems are common in obese people. So I think attacking obesity vigorously, as we're planning to do in this particular symposium and carry it on, is going to be one of the most important and most rewarding campaigns.
I quickly want to get in a word from Achin, but obesity is not about what only happens inside the clinics with doctors. It's a lifestyle, it's a mindset that impacts people. It's a conversation, like I said in the opening, something that impacts your confidence, your relationships, your entire being. How are you planning to tackle that with this campaign?
Yeah, very good point. I think I would summarize by saying don't miss out on life because of obesity. That's basically what we're trying to put across. And, we've seen this in various conditions. If there's a stigma, then you don't do anything about it, and your human-to-human relationships can suffer. Like you said, your confidence can suffer. Potentially your job prospects suffer, your ability to perform well in your job suffer. So there's a lot of things that go around the condition. And ultimately, with that awareness and with the right interventions, this is a solvable problem. It is not something which I have to live with. I can lead a much better life by solving for it at the right time. And as doctors, both the doctors said here, these things create other problems as well. So the sooner you solve it, the better you are in terms of leading a healthier life.
Right. Let me come to Dr. Rajput on this one. Dr. Rajput, for far too long, we have seen weight as a very personal challenge. We have still not seen it become a very serious health condition. What do you think stops us as a society from seeing it like one?
In our society, as we are discussing, simply being overweight and obese is not recognized as a disease condition. But first of all, we have to understand, if you are obese or overweight, you are already diseased. So do not wait to develop comorbidities associated with the disease.
Very important point, yeah.
Right. So if you are obese and now you are developing diabetes, it's one of the comorbidity. We have to understand obesity is mother of all metabolic problems. If you are obese, if your waist circumference is more than 80 centimeter in women, more than 90 centimeter in men, please get your annual health checkup, which is now available virtually in every smallest city of the country. And you will be surprised to find obese overweight में 70% लोगों को भी pre-diabetes और diabetes मिल सकता है. So that is actually the right time to pick up the disease at the earliest point. And always remember, जब ये बीमारियां शुरुआत में ट्रीट की जाती हैं तो बहुत अच्छे से और बहुत इफेक्टिवली ट्रीट हो सकती हैं.
Dr. Kaul, a lot of people watching this right now might get a little overwhelmed. That weight, they want to reduce weight, they don't know how. They've been struggling for years and they don't know how to go about it. But even a start is important, like he said, right? Even a drop in a few kgs can go miles. Help us understand how is this translating into your body, the drop of even slight weight.
Well, you're right that even a slight loss of weight leads to benefits. Say, if we convert it into percentages, if you lose, say, 5% of weight, and you're a diabetic, you would notice that your sugar control has become much better. And if you're not a diabetic but you have a family history of diabetes and you do your HbA1c from time to time, you see that your HbA1c has fallen from 6 to 5.6. So that is even with a very 5% loss of weight. Besides that, the feeling of well-being starts coming. That's very important. If you're feeling that I'm fitter, you feel. And then it's also comes to your mind that, well, it is possible to lose weight. Well, with this little bit of hard work, I lost 5%. If I do a little more, by 6,000 steps a day, I lost this thing. If I go to 10,000, so that is very important. Then 5 to 10%. And if you go even further, you see that your obstructive sleep apnea, that snoring thing, if you've gone to, say, 15% of your weight loss, which is possible today, we might be discussing that, how can we do that? You find that you're snoring, your partner in the bed feels, here, I can sleep much better because you don't snore. You were sleeping anyway very well.
It's a benefit for the entire family.
It's a benefit for the entire family. So it is all the way win-win situation to lose weight.
Win-win indeed, and I think that's a good point for all of us to take a little bit of a break. We're going to slip into a very short break now, but when we return, we'll focus on more solutions, some practical steps, and what can people start doing from now, from today, while you're watching this. So stay with us. All right, welcome back to this very special show where we are launching the Win Over Weight campaign presented by Cipla in partnership with India Today Group. Now, before we went on break, we spoke about how excess weight impacts everyday life, your confidence, and also long-term health. Now, let's talk about solutions. What can actually be done about it? Let me go back to Achin for a question now. Achin, awareness is key, right? That is one part of the major story. What do you think is the best way to drive this awareness and take it forward?
So look, awareness is the starting point of this journey. Once a patient is aware, they have to seek medical advice. And I think there are good scientific advancements, as we've been discussing, where the doctor is able to help you. So first point in the journey is that. Then I think we have to also realize that each treatment is going to be individualized. You'll have to see what is the patient's lifestyle, what is the patient's current condition, what are the other comorbidities, if any, that are there. And as Cipla, we then try and support from patient support perspective. We have a lot of programs to help the patients. We've done this successfully over the years on respiratory through our Breathe Free campaigns and the educators. We are happy to provide the same level of support on patients who are undergoing these kind of things in terms of lifestyle changes, nutritional support, what else needs to happen to monitor themselves and to ensure that the treatment is medically supervised and delivers the right outcomes that they need to see over their journey.
Dr. Kaul, come in on this one. A lot of people, for a lot of people, obesity is a recurring problem. They try a little, then it relapses. Then something happens and again it's gone, right? So how do you, Dr. Kaul, then help them understand? How do these therapies help those people who've been constantly struggling?
Yeah, the lifestyle management which you're talking about, eating the right kind of food and exercising, it's known to everybody, but it's not easy to continue it for. And then unless you see results, you're not, motivated enough. But now we have agents which are injectable. Now we have once in a week kind of injections and which are very, very effective. And, some inflammatory markers are reduced, so your heart attacks get lower directly, not only because of weight, but independent of that. So they are wonderful drugs, conceptually very strong, and they're available. And I think that's going to revolutionize the management of obesity. It's already started in our practice, So that kind of thing is available now, and we're fortunate that we have these molecules available.
This is the right time to have that conversation about obesity, about weight loss, and to have the right kind of medical assistance is very, very important. But Dr. Rajput, I want to come to you next. For anybody watching right now who's feeling excited by all the stories that we are hearing from you, what is the first step that one can take?
Right. In today's world, we are eating by time. We are not eating by brain. In your brain, there is a hunger center, there is a satiety center. Ideally, we should eat only when we should feel hungry. And we should stop eating when this hunger has gone. Now, that is a very big change in the life. If somebody adapts it, that itself will bring lot of changes, including loss of body weight. Now, coming to lifestyle. Remember, patients, lots of patients are coming to us, and actually they are feeling frustrated because they are trying their level best. Level best in terms of diet, exercise, and they are still not losing weight. Now that is why I have told you, just understand the historically. Your genes are made so. So whenever you go on a diet and lifestyle journey, there is a metabolic adaptation start happening immediately inside your body. So your body metabolic rate goes down, your body tends to conserve more energy. So there is a plateau. You cannot go beyond an amount of weight loss with your diet and exercise. And as soon as you stop doing those maneuvers, that lost body weight comes back very fast. Now with diet and lifestyle, 5 to 10%, with surgical procedures, more than 25%. But what about the gap between these two? We were not having any therapies
Now there's
available
a
to
solution.
us.
Yeah.
So now we are having a medical solution for obesity.
So he's essentially saying, listen to your body and also listen to your doctor.
Yes.
That's very important. Listen to both these things and you'll perhaps get to the right point. Well, with that, we've come towards the end of this entire discussion. What we've heard today makes one thing very clear, right? That this is not just about weight. It's about dignity. It's about access to the right information. And it's also about giving people the support they deserve. To everyone watching us today who's struggling with their weight, feeling judged, tired of trying, or even unsure of where to begin, remember this. You're not alone. You are not failing. And you're not dealing with this complex, and it deserves serious attention. Not silence or shame. So start with talking to your doctor. It's simple first step that can change the course of your health, of course. And it's time we stop avoiding these conversations as well. Very important to have them in our drawing rooms. It's time we stop brushing it aside and with casual advice or perhaps quick fixes. It's time we start addressing the real challenges with honesty, backed by science, also follow it up with empathy. And that is exactly what the Cipla Presents Win Over Weight in partnership with India Today aims to do over the next few months as well. Create awareness, start real conversations, and help people take informed, practical steps towards better health and better living. In fact, you can begin that journey right now by scanning the QR code at the bottom of your screen or even visiting www.winoverweight.co to check your BMI as we speak. I'd like to thank, on that note, Achin Gupta, Dr. Rajesh Rajput, and Dr. Rupendra Kaul for joining us today and sharing their valuable insights. There's a lot more coming up as part of this nationwide campaign and initiative that we are taking. More voices, more stories, more solutions. But until next time, I'm Sonal Mehrotra Kapoor signing off. Thank you and keep watching India Today.